All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. So I'm gonna be covering this fight Saturday, Showtime pay-per-view, 7 p.m. Eastern. Jermall Charlo against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. You also got Jermall Charlo against Jason Rosario, unification match. And earlier that day, I'm gonna be covering the zone card for the World Boxing Super Series finals at Cruiserweight. That's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be earlier in the day. So I'm going to be doing 2 different lives that day. So make sure you tune in. I'm going to be covering, I know a lot of people on YouTube is going to be covering the fight, but I'll be doing commentary for the fight, both cards, all right? So let's talk about this fight. This fight is a legit 50-50. I've done a video on this before, but we're going to get down right now into it. You know, I've been thinking about who I'm going to go with this one. I think it could really go either way. I think you could go either way with this one. Okay, there's a lot of unknowns here because of Charlo, really. Charlo and what he can do at 160. I'm just not so sure what he can do at 160 yet. He hasn't really proven what he can do. He's fought some good fighters, some decent fighters at 160. I think the best fighter he fought was definitely Matt Korobov, okay, which was a replacement for Willie Monroe, testing positive on some drugs. So since Charlo has moved up, really haven't liked the opposition like that, to be honest. Okay, I like what he was doing more at 154, fighting guys like Austin Trout, stopping J-Rock undefeated, J-Rock knocking him out. Like, I like that. But at 160, haven't fought the best guys up there yet. All right, so Derevyanchenko, in my book, is the best fighter he's fought to this point, the most proven fighter. Don't look at Derevyanchenko, don't look at just the fact that he lost 2 times. Those fights were very, very competitive. Danny Jacobs, different fighter than Charlo, all right? Has a lot of experience of boxing with Derevyanchenko, all right? They both have the same trainer. These guys fought hundreds of rounds together, so you can't just solely base it on that. Both of those guys have a lot of experience fighting each other, so that fight went the way that both of the fighters knew it can go because they had the experience in facing each other, right? Those guys were sparring partners. And then when you look at the loss to Triple G, it was a very, very debatable fight. Another fight that was very, very debatable. A lot of people feel that Derevyanchenko won that fight, all right? So, Jermall. The positive thing about this fight with Jermall is that he's fighting someone that is going to be coming towards him. Derevyanchenko's a shorter guy. He doesn't have a long reach. He's pretty short for the division. Okay? So he's not an outside fighter. Okay? He's like an inside fighter. He throws a lot of punches. All right? He's a volume puncher. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's good at attacking the body. He's good at throwing combinations. All right? He wants to overwhelm you. He wants to outwork you. Okay, he's not going to be out there trying to snipe Jermall Charlo like Matt Korobov was doing. All right, that's not what we're going to get. All right, so what I like about for Jermall is that he doesn't need to find Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko is going to be in his face all night long. All right, and I think that's good for Jermall because Jermall being so flat-footed, he won't have to hunt this guy down. I think when Jermall has to literally chase his opponent around, he doesn't look as good. Right? He didn't look good against Brandon Adams. You know, and Brandon Adams, look at the fight. You know, if you're trying to decide where you're going to go with this one, look at the fight because even though the fight wasn't really competitive, Brandon Adams' style, he's shorter, you know, and he had to get low a lot and he had to get on the inside. He didn't attack much. But when he did, it was because he got low on Jermall and came in on Jermall and was in his space. And Jermall's not an inside fighter. So you can see Derevyanchenko getting in the same exact way. It's just that Derevyanchenko is going to be more on the attack. You know, when you watch the Brandon Adams fight, he was coming in. He was doing a lot of holding. He was doing a lot of tying up. He didn't really want to engage with Jermall. Derevyanchenko's a different guy. Though he's going to be stepping in order to counter and throw body shots, all right? All right, he's going to be looking to slip that jab at Jermall. Jermall has a beautiful jab. But Derevyanchenko is going to be looking to slip in and counter that jab, all right? Key things to Jermall, best weapons, obviously his jab. All right, just got to keep that out there. Keep measuring and keeping Derevyanchenko on the end of that jab. Try to land those right hands behind the jab. Double up on the jab. Just keep that jab out there. Mixing the jabs up. Throw a lot of light jabs. Mix it in with your power jabs. Don't let him know what is actually coming. Don't become predictable, okay? You can see Jermall leading with the left hook at times, all right? But the best punch in this fight, I think, for Jermall, and a fight that I think can stun and possibly drop or even stop Derevyanchenko, is going to be the uppercut. The uppercut, that sneaky uppercut. He did a nice catch and shoot against J-Rock Williams, stopping him, blocking him with the punch. I think he blocked it with the right hand and then countered with the uppercut. The same punch. It was beautiful. I think he did it a couple times in that fight, but it was the one that he knocked out J-Rock with. All right. I can see that punch, that uppercut being the punch that's going to stun and hurt Derevyanchenko, if any. I think he definitely has the right hand. He definitely has that, but I'm betting more on that uppercut, because Derevyanchenko is going to be coming in and he might get caught with it, while he's, leaning forward. Derevyanchenko got good movement, good head movement, you know what I'm saying? He's used to slipping punches and getting on the inside, but he doesn't have the greatest defense. He doesn't have the greatest, and I can see him getting caught with that right hand at some point. So I think that's Jermall's best weapon, and I think the fact that he doesn't have to chase Derevyanchenko is better for him. All right, and I think Jermall also fights well based on his opposition. I think the better opponents, I was more impressed when he fought a guy like a J-Rock, a guy that he didn't have to chase, a guy that he actually had to sit and stand there and look for counters and look for the right setups. Okay, so that's what Jermall Charlo, that's what I'm banking for. Derevyanchenko, on the other hand, he has more, he's better with the angles. He has more angles. It's more of a punch selection. All right, like I said, he's a shorter, he's a shorter guy. He doesn't have the longest reach or anything. He's not going to be doing a bunch of jabs. Jabs are always going to be setups just to get inside. All right, but with Derevyanchenko, even though it's dangerous and even though he needs to worry about that uppercut, that sneaker uppercut that Jermall Charlo has, he needs to get in, he needs to work the body, and he needs to stay on Jermall Charlo, and needs to pressure him, out-punch him, out-throw him, outwork him. He needs to outwork Jermall Charlo and stay within that space. That area is probably the best bet, because Jermall works better when he's keeping his opponent on the end of his jab and throwing right hands from the outside. Derevyanchenko needs to work, step around Jermall. Jermall is flat-footed. He doesn't have the light feet. He's very, very flat-footed. So he's not going to be as light as a Derevyanchenko. He's not going to be as light as what's his name? Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs was doing a lot of lateral movement in that fight. Jermall's not going to move like that. He can't. And plus, Daniel Jacobs switched from righty to lefty. Yeah, he wasn't as effective, wasn't as aggressive. He would throw some hard shots at points, but naturally, he's just not a flat-footed fighter all the way through. He could be. He's a little bit more versatile. When he's looking to stop his opponent, he is flat-footed. He's throwing bombs. He's a big puncher himself. But Jermall is all the punch. It's all power. It's all being flat-footed. He doesn't have quick feet. He just doesn't. More like Triple G. Triple G just doesn't have flat feet. He's not an inside fighter. He could hurt you from the inside. He could, but that's not one of his strengths. So I think Derevyanchenko needs to step in and outwork Jermall on the inside and outpunch him. He's definitely going to outpunch Jermall regardless. All right, you got to keep his foot on his neck. And he needs to come at and be aggressive the entire time, But use that feet and that movement, changing, those angles, changing levels, bending at the waist, stepping around him, throwing combinations. That is what Derevyanchenko is going to do to win this fight. How could the fight go? Well, I don't see Jermall being stopped. I see Derevyanchenko possibly winning the fight on points. I definitely see that happen, right? But I don't see Derevyanchenko actually stopping Jermall. But I can see Jermall never really getting comfortable with Derevyanchenko. I can see that. I can see the movement and the rhythm of Derevyanchenko just being too much for Jermall. The fainting, just never getting the timing right. Never getting that right hand or that uppercut. I can see that happening. And I can see Derevyanchenko frustrating him and winning on points. I can see that happening. But I can also see Jermall landing right hands. I can also see Jermall hurting him, especially early. Derevyanchenko is he's not a strong starter. We've seen him get dropped by Triple G early. We've seen him get dropped by Jacobs early. So Jermall is gonna have to start off fast. Derevyanchenko, don't look at his record. He's been through a lot. He has a lot of experience. All right, and he took a lot. That Triple G fight, regardless of how you feel if the fight went, it took a lot out of him. And plus, guys have been inactive. It's been a long time since he fought. That Triple G fight was the last fight. I think Jermall fought Dennis Hogan back at December. So I don't think their fights. I should have checked. I can't remember when he fought Triple G. But it's been a while. All right. Plus we had COVID and stuff. So So guys have been inactive. But I still believe that Jermall, younger, fresher. I can see him landing the right hands, hurting Derevyanchenko. I can see him catching him with an uppercut, hurting him. And if anybody's going to get stopped, I will put my money more on Derevyanchenko. But I can see Jermall winning on points too. It really depends, man. It really depends. Jermall fights differently than Triple G and Daniel Jacobs. I'm going to go with Jermall. I think Jermall is going to win this one. I'm going to go with Jermall. I think Charlo's going to find a way to win this one. I think it's going to be on points. I think it might be close. If it goes to the decision, I can see it being a split decision win, a majority decision win. I can see it being controversial. But I think Jermall is going to get the win. I think he's going to win. The judges is going to pick him to win this fight. That's what I'm going to go with. All right. And I think I think he's at some point he's either going to drop or stun Derevyanchenko at some point. If not, knock him out. All right. But I'm more leaning towards Jermall edging the fight on points. But I can see Derevyanchenko. This is not a fight I would put money on. I wouldn't put my money on this fight because I can see Derevyanchenko frustrating Charlo and Charlo never figuring him out and it being like a lopsided fight. I can see that because I don't really know what Jermall really has at this level. I don't know. I seen him fight Matt Korobov and I think Matt Korobov, I went to that fight. And I can tell you in the building, at least in the area that I was at, people felt like Korobov won that fight. At least the crowd that I was sitting by, But look, it is what it is. Korobov is a different fight than Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko is going to have to outwork him. And I think it's possible he can do it. But I'm leaning towards Jermall. I think Jermall is going to pull it off. I just hope that Jermall is not going into this fight just looking to desperately get a knockout. Because that would be bad. All right, if he is going to get a knockout here, and I know he wants to look better than Triple G. I know that's very important to them. I know him and Daniel Jacobs don't get along. I know he wants to look better than him as well. But hopefully he fights a smart fight and look for the right shots. Look to land on the right shots. All right, but I got Jermall. I'm gonna go with Jermall on this one. All right, I'll be covering the fight live, doing commentary. So make sure you guys tune into the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.